What's up, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, representing Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire basketball community. Just a quick note before I get to the video, man. I've been basically out for the past week. I should say, a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, we had experienced a death in the family, man, and I had to take some time off, to help, the family, going through their grieving process. And yesterday, we went through the funeral service and the burial and everything, and it was kind of, heartbreaking experience. So, but I'm back, back to ready to load some videos for you guys. But I just wanted to make sure that I did let y'all know what's been going on. But just remember one thing, guys. Family is a very sacred thing, and just treasure those moments with your family, man, because you'll never know when it's too late. All right. So let's get down to business here, shall we? And I want to salute to Two Raw for TV for you know for doing his video on this. Patrick Ewing got gets accosted by MSG security. All right. Now, the big story that's came out, from all the New York media here was that you know, he was basically walking in through Madison Square Garden. All right, basically after his Georgetown Hoyas pulled off a huge upset against Villanova in the quarterfinals of the Big East tournament, right? And so when he was walking when he was walking through the back hallways of Madison Square Garden, he was basically stopped aggressively by MSG security. And literally, Patrick Ewing had to literally pretty much had to say, like, I thought this was my building. I feel telling that I'm getting stopped, accosted, and asking for passes. Everybody in this building should know who the hell I am. I'm getting stopped. I can't move around this building. I was like, what the hell? Is this Madison Square Garden? Right? So, and apparently that that MSG and which is represented by Dolan, of course, basically released a statement, and basically things were allegedly have been cleared up. But I find this kind of funny how this has been a same kind of cycle that's been going on with James Dolan and a lot of these Nick legends. Remember, years ago, remember this: Charles Oakley was sitting in Madison Square Garden while the Knicks were playing against the Clippers at the time, and he gets thrown out by MSG security. Literally, physically, literally thrown out by MSG security, right? And then also years back, also too years after that, Spike Lee also gets stopped by MSG security too. See, I'm starting to notice some sort of pattern here when it comes to this whole situation here. Like, it feels like that James Dolan's ego, or his whatever mindset that he has, always feels like that he has to remind even the people that basically played for the Knicks for so many years that he is the one that runs the show at Madison Square Garden, that nobody else, right? And I feel at this point right now, why is it that these Knick fans continuously put up with this, right? Y'all should have been protesting. Y'all should have not bought any more tickets to any Knick games until the man is gone. But unfortunately, because of the lure of Madison Square Garden, because of the attractiveness of the building, there's going to be people out there that are going to go in there and continuously kept buying tickets. But how is it that you keep disrespecting a man that played his almost his entire career with the New York Knicks? All right. Now listen, I understand that the man did not win a championship during his peak. Okay, I get that. But how is it that you could give the same heat to Patrick Ewing, but not give the same heat to guys like Chris Mullen, guys like John Stockton, you know what I mean? Guys like that, even Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, they all failed to win a championship during the 90s because of the hands of the dominance of Michael Jordan, right? How is it that those guys don't get the same kind of heat that Patrick Ewing gets? I find that kind of funny, right? This was a man that pretty much played nearly his entire career at good health up until the late 90s, starting back in 1997. All right. When he basically broke his wrist so bad to the point that it was feared that his right hand, his right forearm was had to be amputated because the wrist was broken so bad that it looked like it was wreckage of a car accident, right? Then he comes back, all right. Then he plays most of the 1999 playoffs when they were the eighth seed with a partially torn Achilles tendon. All right. And the only reason why he couldn't play in that 99 series was because of that injury. All right. If he had played, maybe the outcome would have been different, but the Spurs were going to win regardless because of the dominance of Tim Duncan. Right. This was the man that helped lead the Knicks to the finals in 94 and 99. All right. He made at least four trips to the Eastern Conference Finals in 93, 94, all right, 99, and 2000. All right. This was a man that played with his heart and soul every single night that he played it. Okay. Now, many people still consider Willis Reed as the greatest as the greatest Knick player of all time because he still had the jewelry. But if we're really being honest with ourselves, Patrick Ewing is the better overall player than Willis Reed ever was. Because the big difference was Willis Reed played with Hall of Famers that did help them get to those championships. All right. If we're really being honest with ourselves, what what Hall of Famer did Patrick Ewing ever play in his peak? All right, he did have some decent good players like Starks, like Oakley. You know what I'm saying? And later on he had Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, and Larry Johnson. But if we're really being honest with ourselves, what Hall of Famer did he really play with throughout his career that helped him get over the hump? Okay, I'll wait. But back to my point here. Okay, the point is that Patrick Ewing didn't should be treated much better than this, along with the other Nick legends. Okay, and it's funny to me how a lot of these legends they get treated like absolute royalty. Do you think Michael Jordan would ever endure this kind of problem with Jerry Reinsdorf in the United Center, or even Magic Johnson, and also God bless Kobe Bryant? Would they ever get that kind of treatment when they walk into the Staples Center? No, absolutely not. But only with James Dolan, only with the Knicks, you see these kind of problems happening. It's funny to me how a ticket holder may not couldn't recognize the face of James Dolan and ends up getting fired on the spot. All right, it's funny to me how a longtime Knick holder, a New York Knicks fan who was a longtime ticket holder, could write a letter talking about how pathetic the Knicks been, and then all of a sudden you come back and write down a letter saying you should go cheer for the Brooklyn Nets. But when it comes to these legends, it's like there's like a weird type of toxic environment when it comes to paying the respect to the great Knick legends. All right, it's ridiculous. All right, and the bottom line is that how is it that these guys have to go through all those lengths through MSG security, while the other legends of different franchises don't have to go through any of that? I find that kind of funny, right? And another little small thing. How is it that Patrick Ewing, who paid his dues after he retired in 2002, through through the assistant coach rankings, he did everything that he was supposed to do to put himself in a good position to be a head coach. But yet, people like Steve Nash or even people like Derek Fisher, who have no head coaching experience, or even Luke Walton for that matter, they end up getting coach opportunities, while Patrick Ewing has to go back to his alma mater of Georgetown to be the head basketball coach. I just find that absolutely just kind of funny, and sometimes it makes me say forget the NBA for what it's been doing to them. But the point is, though, bro, like, listen, Patrick Ewing is a legend, and the way that they disrespected him like that is beyond ridiculous, and it keeps happening every single time. And at some point, I believe at some point James Dolan is going to make the worst decision of his life that might cost him his ownership. All right. Now listen, there's no strong group out there that's gonna try to buy the New York Knicks, but you're gonna have to hope and pray that that's gonna have to be the case because I guarantee you, James Dolan would rather die in that owner's chair than give up the Knicks franchise. That's what I believe. But I just hope and pray that things do change. But my conclusion to this is Ewing is a legend. This is a man that nearly his entire career with one of the greatest franchises in the NBA, and for him to get disrespected like that is beyond ridiculous. And shame on James Dolan for continuing this kind of level of behavior towards his Knick legends. You know what I mean? It's just absolutely insane. But that's all I gotta say about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.